I'm Mr. Michael, and this is.
Miss Heather, welcome to Positive Talkz.
We are here to talk about all sorts of stuff regarding education, ESA, stuff like that. Answer the things that people are afraid to ask, all that jazz.
Yep, and we're not pros, but we love to talk, and we have a lot of experience in the field of education, parenting,
Psychology. Psychology. That's my major.
Yes.
This is one of our first times doing the podcast, so please excuse us. We're figuring it out. But I have a bachelor's in psychology, minor in sociology. I went to the University of Arizona in Tucson. Go Cats! Beautiful campus, lovely student union, awesome, interesting classes about psychology that really helped me out when it comes to working with children, especially those children that may have that psychological need or desire to talk about things and stuff like that. So I'm one of the best people you can ask questions about psychology with. I'll try my best to give you, to the best of my knowledge, a good answer. Um, yeah.
Which is great for our school, for Positive Expressions Micro School, because not only do you get a behavioralist, which is me, but you also have a mentalist as well. And we combine that with education, and it becomes a beautiful thing. So a little bit about me, Miss Heather. I'm here, but I do have a huge background in education in Yuma. I started actually at the ripe age of 18, teaching, subbing, just like my son. But then I grew from, as I say, from the famous poet, from the bottom, from I'm now here. So definitely grew from like a paraprofessional substitute all the way to admin. So I decided, looking at all the kids falling in those gaps and all the things that are missing, and I understand where our educational system is from. However, there are missing a lot. So I decided, last year, to take a big jump. I left 6 figures, crying.
I remember those nights.
Lots of crying. But you know what? My heart is filled, learning from these kids, being part of a village, to be able to bring something amazing for our kiddos and families in Yuma, Arizona. And that's why we're here today for Positive Talkz, is that we want to be here to answer questions and not give you a book answer, giving you a raw, unfiltered opinion and some probably educational pieces to it.
Oh, yeah.
With a little bit of behavioralism in it, and then a little bit of mentalism in it, but also some educational parenting in it as well. So we have experience from ages, newborn all the way to adulthood.
Like almost graduating high school kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
From small beginnings to where we are now, running the micro school Positive Expressions with a Z. It is a blast of joy. I worked 7 years at JCPenney. So I just right off the bat got a really good experience with talking with people and, just learning to listen to people, learning how to respond, correctly and stuff like that. It was a great learning experience, retail. And then I was able to go to AWC, U of A, get that psychological background, graduate. And as every graduate is coming out of college, you're just kind of like, what do I do? I know I wanted to do something with psychology, but I ended up settling for substituting. I worked with the Yuma School District 1. I substituted like a handful of classes, and I fell in love with the ESL classes. ESS. I did substitute an ESL class. That was interesting because I speak like touchy Spanish. So, but it was, regardless, it's wonderful to work with the children, especially in the ESS classes. working with the paraprofessionals, stuff like that. And then Miss Heather, connect me with a few people, and I ended up getting a job as a paraprofessional for a bit. And then she opened up the school and was like, "Hey, you're really great. You're really awesome, and most importantly, you're my son." And so I really want to take this venture. Really want to take a risk. What do you think? And oh my goodness, what a question! Like, should I leave my six-figure job to start this micro school? And in my experience with the substituting, where it's one teacher versus 30, 40, or in the ESS, it's one teacher versus maybe 10 to 15. Of course, you had the paraprofessionals and stuff, but I could see the need. I could see the need, and so I was like, I really think you should take that leap, and she did, and that's where we are today.
Oh, yes. And we jumped a big leap. And then many trials and many errors came. But we're here and excited to start a new adventure, Positive Talkz.
Oh yeah.
Because we get lots of questions from parents that I may be able to answer, Mr. Michael may be able to answer, or some of our friends and family, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe I just have to do some research. Mm-hmm. But definitely wanted to bring that to our families beyond, right? Because some people have the same question, and maybe they're just too embarrassed to ask, like we were when we were in school. Like if I raise my hand, I might look like I don't know what I'm talking about. Right. But do we all know what we're talking? Probably not. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Oh, neither am I. Just a disclaimer right off the bat. We don't know everything, but if you're looking for someone to put down their 2 cents on the table about something you just really need someone to talk to with, or just want to hear our perspectives on, feel free to shoot us a question. Absolutely no problem. I tell Miss Heather, you could sit me in front of a camera and I can talk for hours if you give me a right topic, kind of thing. So
yes, he can talk for hours.
Oh yes.
But so what we want for you guys is to give us some questions. Give us what you want to hear about. I remember going to trainings and I would ask questions like, how do I get this kiddo out of a behavior when he's like throwing a chair? And I would just get the runaround, right? You got to do A, B, and C, and then they totally miss showing exactly what to do. So we're here to fill in that gap, just like we do with positive expressions, right? Fill in that gap. So parents probably asking these questions, and the professionals are not giving you that raw answer. And that's what we want to do here at Positive Talkz, is be able to give some of that perspective, that enlightenment. And we also want to bring on guests, right? So if you want to hear from a specialist, let us know. Let us message us either on Facebook, Heather Acosta, or Positive Expression with a Z. Positive Talkz will go right along with it. So we're super excited for this journey of bringing more to our Yuma community about ESA, autism, special needs, or just in general. I hear a lot about teenagers struggling too. I do have a huge background in that as well, working within the high school district. But we're here for any questions, concerns. We're just excited to start this journey. It's super exciting to grow and help. That's ultimately our dream, my dream, and I'm sure Mr. Michael's dream, is to help as many people as we can. And this is why we're doing a podcast, because we can't go to everybody's house, but we sure can reach many people through a podcast.
Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of helps you, get to know us. In case you were ever considering us for the micro school, or Miss Heather also runs a drink business as well, like a dirty soda business. Refreshment haven. So, if you just wanted to get to know us, this is an excellent opportunity for us to put our 2 cents out there, and for you guys to get to know us. So yeah, I want to say any and all questions, but our expertise is with education, teaching, psychology, that kind of stuff. But if you just want to be like, Mr. Michael, why is the sky blue? I could talk about that if you really wanted.
I can't.
Miss Heather
I'll paint you a
will be
sky
on the
blue, and it won't be very pretty either.
side. Oh my goodness, but yeah, we anything and everything. Like Miss Heather said, witnessing some of these behaviors and just some of the situations that some of these children are in, just being able to talk about it and put our own experience out there, um, I think is a pretty awesome opportunity. So I'm also super excited. Miss Heather is 110% right in that it is my dream to try and help as many people as possible. A lot of people take that avenue with nursing, some do it with engineering, some do it with teaching, and that's us is the teaching part. So if I could teach someone somewhere, that's my dream.
Also with teaching, but I think children in general, um, we're here to help as much as we can. Because let's be honest, moms, dads, children do not come with instructions.
Oh no. Oh no.
Mr. Michael doesn't have kids yet. Hopefully soon.
Fingers and toes crossed. Fingers and toes crossed. No pressure.
But definitely has some great experiences as a child growing up in our Yuma schools, as well as growing up with special needs. Like I wouldn't say special needs, but
I was never
possible
yeah.
neurotypical. But who's normal these days, right?
Right. That quote unquote atypical, neurotypical, I definitely struggle sometimes with like social cues and stuff like that. I'm 25 years old, so I already know some people are kind of taking a step back and be like, what do we hear all the time? There's no way she's your mom. I'm like,
I started young.
oh, she is.
Unfortunately.
For the best and for the worst, she is. But yeah, I was born in California, but I was raised in Arizona. I went to Tiny Tots preschool. I don't think that's around anymore, right?
Yeah, no, it is.
It is? Oh,
yes.
awesome.
We're
Shout out to
put
Tiny
Athena
Tots. Oh, Athena's our granddaughter. She's like 2 years old. But yeah, I went to Tiny Tots. I remember that was the first time I ever got in trouble, was like argument over a toy vacuum cleaner. And boy, do we experience that at the micro school a lot.
A lot.
That's one of as we adults know, conflict resolution is a big part of everyday life. So I had that at Tiny Tots, moved on to Pueblo Elementary School. And then we moved over to Ameri Schools for a while. Ameri Schools, sorry. And then from there, I went to middle school, which was Centennial. And then after that, went to Cibola. And you already know about the whole U of A thing, the degree stuff, So, but that was my upbringing. So I definitely have experience both now as a teacher and as a fresh child, 25 years old, in those classroom settings, both as the learner in college, school, primary school, and as the teacher. I think that really helps in the learning environment.
Yeah, his youth helps a lot.
Yeah.
But we're super excited again. I'm super nervous too for everything. But we are here, and I guess we'll ask our first question, and I'm going to ask it to Mr. Michael. So, Mr. Michael, what is one thing that you wish all, I guess, adults, parents would know about children?
One thing that I wish all parents, educators would know about children, and it's something that you don't really realize until you get into that situation, is that you're really molding like a whole person. Like their children are just little people, I like to say. And so you have to really take that into consideration when you're teaching them, how you're teaching them, who you're giving your attention to. If you notice that quiet kid in the corner, if you can see yourself in them, if you can have that empathy, develop that empathy, and really be able to reach them, not as a teacher, but as a person. I think that's the a really big step for parents and for educators is that you have to you have to see the child like as a piece of clay, and we have to we're trying to mold them as best as we can to that point. And one of the biggest steps is just really sitting down and like talking to them, and that's a big part of what I do at Positive Expressions is as they're playing, the kids come up and they're like, oh, did you know like this dog has a very thick set of fur? I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. Are you interested in like dogs and stuff like that? Yes, I am. Well, there are a lot of jobs out there that involve like pets and stuff
Mhm.
like veterinary, or you can even do like pets in the ocean, marine biology, and you just get to really know their interests, really get to know them as a person, and then you can start to mold them and shape that path for them. So
Hmm.
that's my best answer at that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Miss Heather? What do you think?
So, what I would want all adults to know about children is they grow fast. Enjoy them. Stop saying no. Sit on the floor. Play. Because in a blink of an eye, they become a 24-year-old. And then you have no control anymore. Then you can't tell them, hey, you probably should do this. So just being there, being present. I know we have to work. I know we have to parent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching it with my grandbaby. Is I know my daughter has to work and she has to parent, and I get to have fun and play with her. But I also get to watch them play with her too. And those are the moments that our children will remember. And there is a huge study, and I'm sure Mr. Michael probably knows this study, that children learn the most through emotions. So when they're having fun, laughing, or the negative too as well. So that's where you get that trauma. And I know as parents we don't want that. So just enjoy them, enjoy the moment. There's always time to do the busy stuff, but taking that deep breath, even when they're kicking and screaming, and understanding them, because that's all they want. Behaviors, that kicking, screaming is just for them to communicate what they need and want.
Right.
And sometimes we just have to sit back and listen.
Right.
And like Miss Michael says, listen and see what they enjoy and doing. Sometimes I tell that to my daughter. Sometimes we just have to do what they enjoy, and we may not like it, but it's okay for the moment, right?
Right.
So
Allow them to express themselves, right, in a non-dangerous way. That's the my biggest philosophy is that we got to allow these little people to kind of you're trying to parent them and you're trying to educate them and you're trying to teach them like the rights and wrongs and the do's and don'ts. But at the same time, I remember being a kid and you're your own little person. So somebody can tell you don't do that, and the only way you can really learn that is by doing it, and then you end up getting hurt. That's the kid. I was the kid that would bump his knees on everything, so I was running everywhere and stuff. Don't you need to slow
you
down.
ran?
I used to run. But not so much more anymore. But I used to run a lot as a
No, I
kid.
remember one time I took him running and it was terrible. So
Yes. So I would fall, and that's just what life is how do we react to that positive stimuli and that negative stimuli? And that's what Miss Heather was touching on there with that study, is that studies showed that when emotions are involved, instead of a very monotone classroom, if you can really reach the children, get to know them, and get to know what brings out that joy, like Miss Heather said, just wow, what a difference. What
mhm.
a difference. And we see that with my little niece, Athena. Like Miss Heather had said, we sometimes I just sit there and she babbles still. She babbles, so she'll get there hopefully. But she'll point at stuff, and even without the words, she'll point at stuff and she'll ba 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 ba, and then like look at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's super interesting. And just that single moment where she enjoys something, but she needs, and I'm sure we can all relate, social media can especially thrives off of this concept. We need someone else there to reinforce that. Like, isn't this interesting? Check this out. And when that person is like, oh wow, like yeah, or when that person has a, oh no, I don't like that, that's where you see the child click, something clicks, and they go, oh, interesting. So I that's awesome. I totally agree with that. That's a real great answer.
Yeah. All right. So that's our first episode. Hopefully, we didn't put you all to sleep.
I try my best not to.
It's his voice. If it is, it's not the topic.
It's my again, my dream is to help as many people out there. So if I can help you fall asleep, turn on Positive Talkz, lay down on that pillow, and dream about psychology and parenting
children.
and raising children and stuff like that. So
All right. So last time, please send us some questions so then that way we can help answer, get some great topics going. If you want to come and join us and talk, great. We would love for you to come on.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
without it, as you can see, we're very kind of like, ooh, our first time, very nervous, but help us out with those topics, help us out with those questions, give us something to really focus on. It's hard to talk about yourself, as ironic as that is, you know. So
Yeah, it is hard to talk about yourself. However, this is a wrap to our first one. So we just want to say keep learning,
keep growing,
and stay
positive.
Until next time,
Take care.
bye.
Bye.